Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video I am going to be doing my makeup. This is a shop my stash type video because I'm going to be using nothing new. All of these products you've already seen me try and mention. However, there's a little twist to it, and it is that a few of these products, 1 2 3 4 5 6 to be specific, so majority of these products are products that I did not love. Okay, they're kind of viral products that I'm like, is it good? Is it worth it? Am I really liking it, or am I just hyping myself up about them? So we're going to try them today for the second or third time, so we'll see. Included in this video are the infamous eyeshadow duos from Patriciaa. I tried these in a video and I told you guys from the get-go that they just fly everywhere. They are super fallouty and I was not a fan of them, but I still want to love them because they look so pretty on the pan. So we're going to try them today. Again, we're going to try them a little bit differently. I'm going to put on something sticky underneath and we'll see. I also have a Natasha Denona palette that I'm like a little iffy about. So if you are excited for today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and let's get started. And if you are interested in any of the products I'm going to talk to you guys about today, I of course have them all listed and linked in the description box of this video. I have them tagged throughout as well. You can always find everything in the description box, by the way, because not all of the products come up in the tagged section on the screen. So that's why I still refer you guys to the description box because I can't tag everything. Let's get started. And the first thing I'm going to try is this Rhode Butter Barrier Moisturizer here because mixed feelings. I like the hydration of it and I like that it's a thicker kind of moisturizer. It feels good on the skin, but at the same time it feels kind of heavy and like it doesn't let my skin breathe much. And so for those reasons, I'm still not sure whether I like this product or not. I have extremely dry skin, so you would think a thick moisturizer would be the answer for me, but that isn't always the case, because a moisturizer that sits on my skin and that doesn't sink in the way I want it, it's not really moisturizing my skin as much. I think part of the problem is I'm putting too much on, so I'm going to take some of that off, put it on a paper towel, and I'm going to do half of what I put out and then apply it to my face. I did already use an essence. I'm going to show you which one I used because I wanted extra hydration underneath the layer of moisturizer, and now I'm just going to work it into my skin. You can see it gives you a very beautiful glow and it feels hydrating. The amount I put on, being less than what I was going to put on, doesn't feel as suffocating on the skin, but it's also not sinking in right away. So I still don't know. I'm gonna let it sit for a few minutes and tell you. The essence I put on underneath the moisturizer, by the way, is an essence I've had for quite a few months and I use often, and it is this one here from Good Molecules. It's called the Sakura Hyaluronic Acid Boosting Essence. I've used close to a third of this one. It's like right there, the amount I have left, and I use very little of it, just a few drops, and just push it into my face. I really like it. I feel like this one calms my skin and hydrates. Anyways, you can see the shine has gone down a little bit, and at this point it is feeling a little bit better, but still a little sticky. You know what? I think my conclusion on this one is it is not for me. I don't love it. It is too heavy. Definitely nothing like my favorite Magic Cream. It feels too heavy. I feel like my skin isn't breathing properly and it leaves that kind of sticky feeling. Even by applying a lot less product than I was at first, it's still not a moisturizer I'm liking, so I don't think I can return it anymore, but I'm definitely going to give it away to someone who might love it better because it is not for me. I just added some Ravi Beauty moisturizer over top of it and my skin feels so much better immediately. I'm going to apply my Natasha Denona foundation, which is not one of the featured products in this video because I do know that I love this one. No need to further test it. I went ahead and did my concealer, powder, and a little bit of bronzer because I don't really have products in those categories that I am questioning myself about. What I will question myself about is this Natasha Denona palette right here. This is the Eye Sculpt Texture and Tone palette. This happens to be the lighter version of the two, and the one that I ended up liking a little less, and it's because of the lack of shimmer shades, honestly. However, I will be combining this with the Patriciaa eyeshadow duos because, as I said at the beginning of the video, video. I don't know about this either. I love the rosy pink shades. I love the neutrality of a lot of these shades. But Natasha Denona has the I Need a Nude palette and the I Need a Warm palette. And having those palettes in her collection already, I feel like this one was not needed. Even though this one has darker colors, especially this last row right here, I don't know, it's just not a palette that makes me feel giddy. However, I do feel like this would be a useful palette for a makeup artist. Maybe that was the intention behind these. I am going to be using my Shoto brushes from Refer because I have been reaching for them quite a lot lately, and the more I use them, the more I love them. In particular for eyes, the Shoto 03 brush. This brush is incredible. It is thick and fluffy, but it comes to a very fine tapered point at the same time, so you can get very precise with it on the outer corner here without blending the shade onto the crease that much. But then if you want to go up to the crease, you also can. It gives you a lot of control over the placement of the shadows is the point I'm trying to make. So anyways, I'm going to start with the shade P2 here, and laying my brush kind of flat on the side, I'm going to blend this color throughout the crease, adding it to the outer third of the eyelid here and blending it upwards. A little more of that shade, and I'm using the side of the brush like this so that I can diffuse in a wider area and blend to the underbrow area. But you'll see as I go darker how I can control this brush in order for it to give me a lot of precision. Now that that first shade is blended, I'm going to go up a little. I'm going to go for something a little darker. So I'm going to use Y3. This is one of the creamy shades. That's the other difference between this one and something like I Need a Nude. This one has creamy shades. A new formula that honestly blend really nicely, apply very easily, but the colors are nothing special in particular because of the lack of shimmers. I don't know, this color story just didn't blow my socks off, even though I like a lot of the shades and I can use them. And so you can see how when I blended that second color, I didn't take my brush higher than right here, and I could even make the color just stay right here on the outer third of the eye, which is what I'll be doing next with another color. So let's see, what should we do to make it even darker? Let's go with a deeper rose. Is that darker than this? Maybe not. Okay, let's do C3, which is a darker brown, and this one I am going to concentrate, and I'm still using the same brush. I don't have to, I could switch, but I want to show you how versatile this brush is. So I'm going to concentrate that color right here on the outer lid and very easily and lightly blend it into the rest of the colors by simply moving my brush back and forth right here around the eye socket, because the brush being so nicely tapered is doing the blending for you. You don't really have to do much and your shade will be blended. Same thing over here. You're grabbing the brush with the flat side, which is resting on the eyeball area here, and so the tapering off the brush is going to make the color blend into the rest of your colors without having to do much. Okay, I am going to use the Shoto 00 as well, which is flatter version of the Shoto brushes, also very nicely tapered, and I'm going to use it for the under eye area. So I'm going to start with the C3 shade, which is the darkest one we used on top, and I am going to take that shade right between my lower lash line here. Same thing on this side, and after briefly wiping it off on a paper towel, I'm going to go on the shade P2 and smoke things out underneath my lower lash line, just like so. Brown eyeliner to my waterline. This one is from Charlotte Tilbury, and on my eyelid I am going to use the Pat McGrath Intensifies Longwear Primer, which is kind of like a glitter glue. It's another product I didn't really love that much, but I don't love it to prime my whole eye. I do love it as a glitter glue type of product. So I am going to just add it on the inner half of my eyelid here by just swiping it where I want my glitters to adhere nicely. I like that it's pretty clear. It doesn't really have a lot of pigment to it. And with my finger, I'm going to apply the PATRICIAALONSO eyeshadow duo on top of it. Pray for me because this was so fallouty the first time I tried it. I have trust issues. I'm applying it. So far so good. Applying it with my finger on the eyelid, and it's actually not flying everywhere, so we might just need to use a glitter glue each time we apply these because it is behaving so nice. Ooh, wait, I do have, I mean, it's not bad. It's just a few, but I do have a little fallout. Let me do the same thing over here. And I am being very careful because I know how bad these fly everywhere. And they are so pretty. Like my eyelids look wet right now, which is ideal. I love it. But I just couldn't deal with the amount of fallout that I was getting from these. I used to do my eyes before my complexion a long time ago. And for some reason, I stopped doing that. And now, even if I try to remember that I want to do it, I just have my routine and I just keep grabbing for the complexion products first. Prime example for this video, I totally thought, let me do my eyes first so that if I do have fallout, I have a clean face afterwards. I did my complexion first, as you saw. So it's hard for me to remember that for some reason. I'm going to use the lighter shade on my pinky finger and keep moving inwards. Honestly, on top of that glitter glue, this was a much better experience, even though I did still get a tiny bit of fallout. And here's how things are looking, which is not even, but that's because I can't even things out with my fingers, so I have to use a brush. And I'm going to use this tiny one from Refer. This is the Shoto 06, which is very, very precise to even out my eyelids. I'm going to grab the lighter shade, and hopefully, because this brush is so tiny, I won't have a lot of fallout with it. So I'm just going over the highest part of the eyelid here, and this is the side where we gotta match it up, so we gotta go a little higher with it because my eyelids are shaped differently. I have to even things out. Okay, that is glorious in its holiday sparkle for sure, and using a glitter glue is definitely the key with these eyeshadow duos because I am much happier, even though again you can see I have a tiny bit of sparkles down there, but this is nothing in comparison to the first time I used this because this was a whole mess. I often get asked about the eyelash curler I use, and it is also from Refer. They have two shapes depending on your eye shape. You get one or the other. If your eyes are more rounded, you get 18R. If your eyelids are a bit flatter, have a bit less of a curve to them, you get 20R. I have used them both. I think 18R would be the one suggested for me, but honestly, I love them both. The one I just used actually is 20R because it was the first one I found. I've been using them for years now. It is super gentle on the lashes. I've never had any trouble with them, and I used to never use an eyelash curler until I tried these years ago, and now I can't do my mascara without an eyelash curler because I find it makes such a huge difference. For mascara, I'm going to use the Makeup by Mario mascara that I have been absolutely loving lately, and this would have been a really good one to put in this video in the sense that it was a viral popular mascara that I for a while there wasn't sure about. However, I have known for at least 2 months now that I do in fact love this mascara. I was not a fan of it at the beginning because I didn't find it a big deal. However, for the past few months, ever since it got a little goopier than when it was brand new, I have been loving it. Gives me long, thick, defined lashes, and that is all I am asking for. So let me be right back with my lashes done. Now that the mascara is on, let's talk about this YSL face palette because I have such mixed feelings about it. Here's what the inside of it looks like. This is a luxury item, and so it's going to be pricey. The packaging, 10 out of 10. The packaging is gorgeous, but the range of colors in here I don't think makes sense for any one specific person unless you're a makeup artist, because you have dark shades and light shades combined. Like this is supposed to be a highlighter, so this is going to be for someone with a very dark deep complexion, which is great, but then the top part is going to be for someone with a very light fair complexion. And so unless you're a makeup artist, this is kind of going to be a waste of money because no one is going to really get use out of all of the shades you get in this palette. Those are my general thoughts on it. I will go ahead and apply it now. Now the other thing I have mixed feelings about when it comes to this palette is the formulation of the blushes, because this last one here, this last one is perfection. This has a matte finish, but the lighter two shades are like that satin finish they created, and it was not my favorite thing. I have this color in my collection. This was the first one I tried, number 44, and it was too dark for me and like too much right away, and so I assumed the reason why I didn't like it was because of the glow. However, I can now try a lighter shade that might help, but we'll see whether it's the texture or the color that I did not like. We'll also try the highlighters. Overall, I don't recommend this palette in general because, like I said, you're not going to use all of the shades, but I'll try it. I'm going to try it with the newest Shoto brush, the Shoto 05. This is the Shoto version of their infamous, very popular 05 blush brush. And I have already used this one on and off camera, and I really like it because it helps you diffuse your blush in a very light way without overdoing it. It's for those of you who love natural makeup, and so what better way to try it than with this palette that I am unsure about. So I'm going to very lightly apply and diffuse the lightest blush in this palette, and you can see how easily the tapering of this Shoto brush blends the blush on my complexion. Blended like a dream. Definitely not too dark of a color for me, and I don't love it. So it's definitely the finish of the YSL blushes that I don't love. That's why I will once again recommend that you guys try the YSL blush in number 30, because that one has a matte finish and a beautiful color, and I love the formula of that one so much, but I don't like the satin ones at all. You can take a look at how emphasized my pimple is, and it definitely is from the glow of these blushes. Number 30 smooths everything, blurs everything. The matte finish is perfection. Not a fan of the satin one. Anyways, here is how things are looking like, and I am going to try the highlighter as well. Why not? I'm going to use this Nikki LaRose N20 brush and this lighter shade of highlighter here, and it's very lightly blended on the highest part of my cheekbone. I hadn't ever tried these highlighters on my face. I've only just swatched them in the store, and my first impressions when I swatched them was that they weren't super smooth, and I agree with that. I don't think these are the highlighters for me. So no matter how pretty and tempting the packaging of this palette is, I would not recommend this one. The next product I have very mixed feelings about is this right here. This is the Merit Beauty lip liner. I have the shade Archibald specifically, which is a beautiful shade. Now, the reason I have mixed feelings about these lip liners is because they're supposed to give you this blurring type of effect to your lips, and I don't think I'm a fan of that. And also they're a little too shiny, too glossy. So anyways, let's go for it. When I first tried it, I thought this would be a really nice lipstick formula, but I don't love it for a lip liner. It's too emollient. It's harder to control. It doesn't define as much as a lip liner should, in my opinion. And the color is so beautiful. I love the color. I just wish, like, for a lipstick it would be fantastic. I'm just gonna fill it in all the way. Great color lipstick. As a lip liner on its own, I just don't think it's my favorite. That actually looks so good. I think I'm going to use this as a lipstick rather than a lip liner. I can put a different lip liner around it that's a little easier to control, because that's my issue with this one. It's just a little harder to control than the lip liners I usually go for, but I do really love the look of it, especially filled in. Now, I will keep it and use it as a lipstick, and this was sent to me in PR, so it makes sense for me to do that, but it's not something that I am recommending for you, because as a lip liner, hard to control. As a lipstick, you probably don't get enough product in here for it to be used as a lipstick. So those are my feelings about it. Color wise though, beautiful. I believe they have an Archibald lipstick color, and if that is the case, then go for that, because it is a stunning shade. The very last product I am going to talk about is these glosses from Valentino Beauty here. The packaging on these feel very cheap for what they are and for the price that they are being sold at. And the formula I thought was pretty average. It didn't blow my socks off. I think I want to try it with the darker gloss, this lipstick, since I already have kind of vampy vibes going. It's a good gloss. It's not sticky. It smells really nice. They last a fair amount on the lips too. But I think you can get a lip gloss that gives you this same effect with the same amount of pumping for a lot less money. I kind of ruined the look. The lipstick on its own was beautiful, but I wanted to try this again. For a plumping gloss, I will add, it's not bothersome on the lips. I feel like a very mild spiciness tingling tickling my lips right now, but it's not bad at all. And I am a spicy gloss hater. And so this right here is the finished look. This is me trying all of these products that I was unsure about. I hope that you guys like this video. The biggest revelation for me was that with a glitter glue, this Patrick Ta Duo does work for me, and I'm very happy about that. The Natasha Denona palette, I want to love more than I do actually love it. Are the formulas good? Yes. Is the color story inspiring? No. She has much better palettes with much better color stories in my opinion, and so this one's kind of in the back burner for me. The YSL palette and the Valentino lip glosses, in my opinion, not worth your money. And as far as this Merit lip liner is concerned, I really love the way it looked on the lips, but I don't love it for a lip liner formula. And so those are my final thoughts on everything I tried. This right here I am just not compatible with, and I will quit trying to make it work for me because I just don't enjoy the experience. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up if you liked it. If you're interested in the Shoto brushes I talked about throughout the video, please check out the links I left you for those brushes down below in the description box. They are 1000% worth it. They are such good, easy to control brushes. The tapering of them is just done beautifully in a way that is so helpful to get your makeup to look the way you want it to look. The control that tapering gives you over the makeup application is everything. Anyways, I love you all so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye.